This wound of open flesh that you're about to see under my arm is the same one that I get in my scalp. So let's talk about it. Before we get started, help me support Black businesses. Main Life Mint Foam is the best on the market. I'm sorry. The only one that compares, in my opinion, is Design Essentials. Link in the description box below. She did not pay me to say that, but I really wanted to be really transparent as always with you guys, because I get comments like this so much. Like, oh, if your hair is short, then how do you know all of this information? And never trust somebody with short hair, because most likely they don't know anything about growing hair. And that could not be further from the truth. But this is the thing, I don't want anybody to feel like I'm trying to talk them into believing anything. I was born with something called hydradenitis suppurativa. My father has it. Every single last person on my father's side of the family has it. At least all of my father's brothers and sisters, and most of their children have it. It's something that we never talked about. It's something that I ended up finding out on my own, right? When I was on YouTube watching a video, and beautiful brown baby doll was talking about having hydradenitis suppurativa, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm dealing with the same thing. So it comes in my scalp and in a couple of other parts of my body. Everywhere where sweat glands live, I get those lesions. So imagine on the side where my head is shaved, and in the middle where I've told people who have been on my channel for years, where I told you guys my trigger spots are, that same hole of open flesh, that was not a scab, that was literally my open flesh, right? That happens on the sides of my head, and guess what? I have been dealing with it my entire life. That is why when I first came on social media, I had a short pixie cut, not because my hair wouldn't grow, but it was easier for me to deal with this when my hair is shorter. When my hair is longer, it's so hard to deal with. Imagine a hole just like that of open flesh. That pink that you're seeing is my actual flesh, like layers of skin under there. No, there's no skin there. That is flesh that you guys are looking at. And now that once I got into herbalism, and HS, hydradenitis suppurativa, is the thing that made me dive into herbalism, just so I can learn how to heal my body without the medications and stuff like that. I know that there are different surgeries and all types of things to do. I have dealt with this my entire life, but I don't want to do that. I don't want to get sweat glands removed from my body. I'm not saying there's something wrong with it if you did. I just don't want to do that. I don't want to be on a medication that if I take that medication, I'll be messed up if I don't have it. So if you're a person who can't receive from somebody like me, bye. Like, I'm sorry, I'm not going to hide this part of myself. I'm not ashamed of it. I don't know anything else, right? But I just decided this time, instead of shaving all of my hair off, I'm just going to go ahead and be transparent and show you guys, so you'll know that yes, you will have problems when it comes to your hair, right? Stress. We all just went through a pandemic together, and we're still dealing with different things. Like any type of stress, even stress that's not negative, right? Any type of stress can send you into the telogen phase of the hair growth cycle, which will make your hair grow slower and things of that nature, right? But anywho, I share the different things that I share here on my channel in spite of what I deal with internally, because in the midst of me growing my channel from 0 subscribers to over 100,000 subscribers, I've had HS this entire time. The entire time that I was doing silk press videos, every video that you watch, I had band-aids up under my arms at work. Like, call me Band-Aid Ella. Okay, because I've been band-aided up this entire time, but I never showed that to anybody because it was about hair, right? And I wasn't under the impression that women would be so closed-minded. But it is okay, because I've, again, had this forever. Leave in the comments how many times I'm gonna say I've had HS my entire life, right? But it is not until, I want to say, maybe like the 3rd year. That's not true. That was a lie. The second year of my marriage that I was really like extremely confident and not being ashamed of having hydrogenated suppurativa, and it was because of my husband. I never told my husband, oh, I have hydrogenated suppurativa, because I did not know what it was. I just knew that I get pus like lesions all over my body, like, and I don't know why. It comes anywhere sweat glands are, so under my arms, in my scalp, in between my legs. It, for some people, it could come like in between your booty cheeks. Thank God that never happened to me. My dad used to get it there, and no one knows what it is, including doctors. Doctors do not know what the trigger is, but it is a auto-inflammatory disorder where your body attacks itself. Like my body, anytime my body goes to release any type of toxin, sweat, anything like that, my body thinks that it's something wrong, and my body begins to attack itself. That goes from my scalp and so every other place in my body. Not to mention, I live in Las Vegas, Nevada, so just imagine how summers were for me, standing behind a chair doing hair all day, and stress also triggers HS. So imagine how stressed I was and how triggered my hydrogenated suppurativa was when I was standing behind the chair doing hair. Now, this portion that you are watching right now, this video is about a month old now. Because of HS, because of the way that my body works, and because of the mental standpoint that most people are at here on social media, when I'm having an outbreak, I protect myself because people are so nasty. And initially, like when you first go to cosmetology school, there's nothing that prepares you to deal with people in the way that you do. It's almost like a fairy tale land, right? When you're in cosmetology school, you're like, you're gonna go to school and you're learning this science, and everybody's gonna really want the science. And once you just show them this and you just break everything down scientifically, they're gonna get it. But it is nothing like that, and you're not prepared for that. You don't know how to handle it. So of course your very first response is to be defensive, right? Is to be like, no, what are you talking about? But that came with learning, right? When I first started, I was about 22, 23 years old. Now, as a 33 going on 34-year-old woman, still in this industry, understanding hydrogenated suppurativa, understanding my body, understanding how hydrogenated suppurativa affects my hair growth cycle, affects my follicles, I can maneuver around that. So when I'm saying different things like, oh, I don't like twist outs and I don't like watch and goes and things of that nature, it is because when you have an environment that feeds bacteria on the scalp, you cause so many different ailments and so many different illnesses within the hair shaft and within the body itself, right? And I know this from having like the most severe forms of inflammation that one can have in the body. There is no cure for a hydrogenated suppurativa. So I have become a professional at prevention, right? Learning that everything, especially when we're talking about inflammation, everything has a trigger. So I had to learn that in having hydrogenated suppurativa, there is something that triggers my inflammation that causes the disorder known as hydrogenated suppurativa. So I went back to school and got degrees and more certifications so I can know how to heal my own body. That's why I'm not on here, and I never will be like, I have this degree, I have this certification, because I didn't do it for y'all. And I'm not trying to prove anything to anybody. I am presenting factual information that you can go research yourself. And so it's so funny because I'll get so many comments, and there's so many different channels that some of you that are watching this are probably coming over here from this like, oh, she doesn't know what she's talking about. Listen, Team Natural may make up things. Anything that I say, you guys can research. I am backed by so many dermatologists that it doesn't make any sense. Most of the products that I recommend to you, like the product that I recommend to you guys to cure seborrheic dermatitis, dandruff, scalp psoriasis, those are all products that are formulated by dermatologists. I sat down, met with the dermatologist that formulated the product, and I have the video here on my channel channel to show you guys, right? So it's neither here nor there. And I'll be honest and say sometimes it makes you like, do I really want to do this? Because in the business that I have that has nothing to do with YouTube, you guys, we're bringing in more than like $600-700 a day. I don't have to do this. I'm not doing this for the money. I'm not telling you guys all about this for the money. You guys know Simple Apothecary is an amazing brand, and we're doing numbers, and it has nothing to do with you guys doing twist outs or wash and goes. Everybody on this planet can still do twist outs and wash and goes, and my business will still be a 6-figure business and climbing. So it has nothing to do with any of that. I'm doing it straight from love. So if you are a person who cannot receive from somebody who was born with hidradenitis suppurativa, then hey, that is okay. This may not be the channel for you, and that is fine. If you are a person who disagrees, and if you think that you just wetting your hair and walking outside is the best thing for you, then hey, do it. I am not trying to stop you. I make videos for women who are looking for different answers. And I think the problem is because Team Natural has been around for so long, and because Team Natural has no facts and it's all based around opinions, everybody has the type of mentality to think that hair is the one part of the human body that you can argue and go back and forth with. And that is the main issue. I am not arguing and going back and forth with anybody about anything. And guess what? If I decide to shave my head skin bald, it does not change the fact that the hair is weakest when it's wet. That fact will still remain, regardless of if I eat 5 double cheeseburgers tomorrow and I get open wounds all over my body. It will not change any fact of the human body. It won't. So it's really interesting when I get comments like, oh, that's not a fact, and this and that. Listen, everything that comes out of my mouth, you can look up in the State Board of Cosmetology. You can look up in the book. So if I'm making it up, that's something that y'all need to coincide with the Lord. Like, don't get mad at me. Like, get mad at our educational system, I guess. I don't know. But everything that I say is proven by fact. And if you are with a cosmetologist that says different, you're with a cosmetologist that folded in the midst of everything that was going on with Team Natural. Because when everything first started, cosmetologists like me were like, no, like we are not going to fold. But then after half of your clients start leaving and you still got kids to take care of, and your booth rent is still $350 a week, you be like, okay, I'll do some twist outs. Okay, I'll do a wash and go, fine. Because you literally get put in a position where it's like, okay, I either stay integral and only tote the stuff that I know is truth that I learned in school, or I just go ahead and join them because I can't beat them, because I can't walk away from this industry. I was blessed to be in a position where I could walk away from the industry without folding, but a lot of people did not have that option. And after 10 years go by and all of the people like me have walked out of the hair industry, all you're left with is the fake science. And at this point, nobody knows the difference, because most of the professional cosmetologists joined in with the fake stuff and put all the real science under them. So then it makes people like me look like they're making stuff up, because the real facts have been buried for over a decade. So it looks like I'm pulling shit out of my ass, where in reality, everything that I say on my channel, you learn in cosmetology school. Hair is weakest when it's wet. You take the hair from alpha keratin to beta keratin. Everything that I say out of my mouth, you get tested on at State Board. You spend 2 years in cosmetology school to learn. The first year in cosmetology school, you're learning everything that I tell you guys on my channel. And the second year, you get on the floor and you apply everything that you learned in the classroom. I'm not making up anything. Everything that I say out of my mouth, you can Google it yourself, and you can look it up in a medical journal. You can look at the facts and you can search them. Wash and goes don't have any lifelong like facts to back them, and the facts that do back them show that it leads to hydra fatigue and so many other different scalp disorders. And those are the things that I'm trying to present to you guys. So I'm not going to be proving myself to you on my channel. If you can't receive from me because my hair doesn't look like you think it should look, then hey, go find somebody that you can follow with visuals, because I'm not her. I just didn't have enough time to do. Well, I had time, but I just didn't want to rush it. So braided my hair last night. Had time, but don't want to rush it because initially my plan for this year, right? My plan for this year is already set, and I put that in here somewhere. So my plan for the year is already set, but whenever I have like outbreaks, even though this outbreak did not come in my scalp, anytime I get an outbreak anywhere around my body, I put a little hold off or a little hold on some of my plans until I'm able to get it under control. And I think somewhere around here in one of these clips, I ended up just putting a band-aid on because I had another outbreak, which is not a big deal. Like, I broke it down in a video before. It's not a big deal. If y'all want me to do another video on it, well, I'm not. I'll leave it in the description box below. Not a big deal. But anyway, to avoid outbreaks on my scalp, because my trigger spot is all filling in and it's doing so good, I am just holding it just a little bit, just a couple days. And plus, I don't take as many brand deals because because of what my plan is for this year. So I'm not taking as many brand deals because my plan for this year does cause me to do certain things to have my hair up. And I'm gonna explain that. I'm gonna explain it already. At this point, I've already explained that. So now I do have a brand deal, this unit that I want to show y'all. And as I'm doing the unit, I'll tell y'all like why this is like my favorite texture, because when my hair is at maximum strength, when I'm not cutting it, because the thing is, if I really want to, and if I really want to hold on to all the length, I just don't cut it every month. But I want my hair to grow out in a V, and so it will grow out in a V. I cut it every month because I'm cutting it for a shape. I am not pressed about length. If I was pressed about length, I wouldn't cut it because I would be trying to impress you. But I'm not, because I know that you can shave hair off and grow it right back. You got to remember, people that get pixie cuts are getting haircuts every week. Like, they're getting inches cut off every week. So just imagine if they didn't cut it. If you add that up, like, hair grows. So I don't know, I've just been in this block mode because, like, I can be transparent and say that sometimes you don't want to post, like, if I'm having an outbreak in my scalp or if I'm in a transitional phase, because with HS you have a lot of transitional phases, and if I'm in a transitional phase, I don't like to post because I'm still human regardless. Like, and I can have a moment, if I'm having a moment and I pick up my phone and it's somebody's ignorant granddaughter that's like, how you know so much about hair and your hair look like this? It's like, I don't know, broad. Ask God why I have hidradenitis suppurativa, because I've been asking and I haven't gotten an answer. So let me know if the Lord tells you why I got hidradenitis suppurativa from my father's side of the family. But like I said earlier, it's this one dermatologist that is the freaking smartest